is this not coming up? There we go. Alrighty, so I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I see that we have a lot of people in the chat already. Good to see you guys. So happy everyone can make it, and I hope everybody is staying warm and dry because I know a lot of places are getting rain. I just got notification that we got some moderate snow coming in here to Michigan. So today I am going to be working on piecing together all of my blocks that I have been making. So we got all my blocks. I got all the two-tone yellows. And we have just the plain green squares, the green and black squares, yellow squares, or yellow and black squares, and then a bunch of the plain black squares that would be the background, as well as the border piece. So I'm going to do all this through Quilt As You Go method. And today I'm going to be focusing on, let's got that all crinkled up down underneath there. So today I'm going to focus on this one here, the two-tone yellow, because I want to get the largest count knocked out first. So, and then for the background, I got everything piled up behind me over here because I'm out of space. Hey Mona, hey Laura Lynn, Denise, So Patch, So Becca. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I know Iris Cell Lady was in here a moment ago, said she had to go get some coffee. But this is gonna be my background, or the backing. And so I cut the backing because my blocks are 7 inches by 7 inches. So I cut my backing 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. So I was working on some of this last night while on Becca's live stream so I could get everything figured out. Am I getting a battery low on this? Sorry, I forgot to plug in one of my devices because I have my Surface Pro right here that I use for watching my chat, and so I can look over at the camera, and I forgot to plug it in. My bad. Alrighty, so right, Laura Lynn, I'm not crazy about yellow, but that yellow is pretty. My favorite of the two is the darker of the yellow. This one here, because I love like that design and the multiple tones of it. It gives more definition, I feel. So these are the ones that we are going to be working on today. And for anybody that is new to my channel, this is a quilt that I designed in my EQ8 for a customer, as he is wanting a queen size quilt with a large pineapple in the center, and then I designed the on point blocks, or not on point blocks, but the diamonds going around it. Guess you could say diamonds or squares. I'm not really square and a square. Don't really know what the name of it is. I just thought the design looked really cool and gave it more interest. So we are doing 12 blocks across and 14 blocks down to give me a total size of 84 inches by 98 inches. And I'm probably going to add a black border going around it, just to help give the outer blocks more strength and durability. Hey Mona, thank you. Yeah, this is something I whenever I have an order from a customer for a quilt, I like to design it in my EQ8 instead of just going off of somebody else's pattern. Like, they let me know what type of interest they have, and I go based upon that and figure out something that would be unique to them. So this is what I have done so far. What I did up on Becca's live stream last night of piecing 4 of these together so that way I could figure out how I want to do it, what works best. These here I was doing 7 by 7 for the background, for the not background, but for the backing. But then I had a lot of trouble on getting it all to cover up properly and had to go over everything a couple times. So I decided to do 7 1/4 by 7 1/4, so that way there it gives me a better chance of getting everything covered up over. Because what I'm doing is I'm putting one side down, turning the raw edge of the other side over, and then putting it down, and then sewing right down the seam here, which is right down the seam that I sewed to sew the 2 blocks together. But I'm about to show you guys all of this, so no worries if you didn't catch that or didn't understand the quick little explanation. So this here is actually this top row of these 4 blocks. So now I'm going to work on these 2 because I want to get the pineapple itself done up first, because then everything else I feel will be a lot easier. I want to get my center done first because queen size quilting for me is quite difficult on my back. It's not impossible. It just takes me a lot longer. So I want to get the center taken care of because then the outside won't be so hard. Hey Sean, how are you doing? So first, I am going to take one of my background squares. And then I'm going to take one of my batting squares. My background is 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. My batting is 7 by 7. And just make that nice and like that. And then my square is, actually my batting is slightly smaller than my tongue-tied, and coffee still waiting to kick in. So my backing is 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. My batting is 6 1/2, I believe. Yes, 6 1/2 by 6 1/2. My main piece is 7 by 7. And the reason why I made my main piece or my batting smaller is so that way there in my seams it's less bulk. So I'm using black for my bobbin thread and a matching yellow for my top thread. When I get ready to do my green pieces, then that's okay, Sean, no worries. If people are subscribed, then they'll get the notification. If not, they'll catch me on the replay, or they'll come in, just want it coming in a little late. No big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm starting roughly about 1/4 inch down in from the corner. So, because I want to leave excess room for connecting all the blocks together. And then I like to hold this here because sometimes it can get stuck underneath there. And that is pretty much all the quilting I'm doing on them. The ones that I have pieced, I am just following along the stitching. And then the solid black background ones, I will be adding more detail into it. I'm not really for sure what. Might just do cross. I don't know yet. I haven't gotten that far in the thought process. I am figuring this out as I go. So then we're going to go ahead and take care of the other side. And then when you're doing this and everything, or whenever you're doing your quilts, make sure that you are putting, if your batting has scrim, make sure you're putting the scrim facing down. Like this one here has this coating on the back of it, so I know that that's the backing. But some have like the scrim, and you want that facing downwards. And just try to make sure that you got this as even as possible on all 4 sides. So what is everybody else working on today? So now, since I have these two here put connected and everything, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them to these. And based upon my picture here, I need to make sure that my yellow is pointing in towards this here. So I'll turn and have this one over here. And then this one will go like this over on the other side. So start giving like the design at the top of the design of the pineapple. Sounds good, Laura Lynn. It's always good to start off a new day with a clean room. I had to come in and try and do a lot of cleaning on my space today before the live stream, so getting everything prepped up for the live stream and everything yesterday, I kind of made a bit of a mess. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm putting them front sides together. I am getting my yellow pieces here completely lined up with each other. And I'm going to clip them together just so that way there I can keep them nice and straight. The black background on the other side, I'm just going to keep, so I'm just going to sew it down with the yellows because that's going to help secure that side. This one here, I'm going to try and peel this one back. Because this is going to be the side that I'm going to flip over to cover up the back stitching. So I'm just trying flipping that over and putting a couple clips into it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to the machine here. As I move this clip up far enough out of my way. And then I'm going to start stitching all the layers together with the exception of this backing piece. I'm going to leave this backing piece not stitched to the rest, so that way there then I can use that as my cover whenever I get ready to do that part afterwards. Hi Denise, hi Deb. And you don't have to, but I do like to back stitch just because that way there it gives everything a little extra security, because I am doing this as Quilt As You Go. I want to make sure everything stays right how I want it, seeing how this is all the final stitching for these blocks. So now since we have them joined, we got this right here. And what we're going to, hey Katie, how are you doing? So now what I'm going to do is, what I'm wanting to do is push this here over. But I need to hide all my stitching, and first I'm going to trim the excess here. A little extra work, but it's a lot easier on my back this way. So I'm just trimming off a little bit of the extra, the stray strings and any extra fabric. Try to get rid of some of the extra bulk that I would have hiding inside of that seam. You can even try and like do this where you got the seams open if you like. Doesn't really matter because everything's going to be covered and hidden. Me personally, I like to try and do it to one side. I like to push it all over to this side here, so that way there's no possibility of anything sticking out. I need to take a hair of a stitch out of here so I can get this to lay down properly. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this under just a tad. You can pin it, flip it, whatever it is that you would like to do. For this show here, I will pin. Or you can even just use a glue stick to glue it down, to hold it until you get it sewn. It's probably what I'm going to do. You just want to make sure that you're barely covering up the stitch line. So you got this stitch line right here from where you just sewn all of those layers together. So you want to make sure you're just barely covering that up, because in a minute I'm going to turn this over and that stitch line is going to be my guide for sewing down this side. So got my handy dandy glue stick, and it looks purple right now, but when it dries it's clear. And this is just an Amazon glue stick. I got them in a nice big case for fairly cheap, and they work just as good as the Elmer's glue sticks. Because for one, all I wanted to do is just hold this down. So how was everybody's New Year? So since I got that holding down right now, I'm going to come over here, flip it right sides up, and I'm going to stitch that down. And I like to keep all the rest of this over here all curled up so that way there it doesn't pull too much over on this side. I don't go all the way to the edge, just so that way there when I go to do the next row or to connect the two rows, then I got some room to work with there. And if I need to go back and correct, I can. But that is my, essentially my, I guess, wouldn't really say cover stitch method. Just my flip over method or whatever. And if you're ever needing to know how to do Quilt As You Go in a much, maybe in a different way or a different technique or whatever, then Pattern Pool has a lot of really good ways of doing it. This is just my method I chose to do on this one here. I've done the cover stitch. I've done the little where I add in the sashing. I've done multiple different Quilt As You Goes. It's just this is the one I chose for this quilt. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing that I did to this side. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do it to the other side. So I'm going to get these two here lined up. And then I'm going to, while holding them together, I'm going to make sure I got them facing in the correct direction, which I do. Cool, cool. gonna clip my fabric here in just a moment. So get my clips up here. You can clip, pin, just hold it with your fingers. Whatever it is that you want, feel like, whatever it is that you're more comfortable doing. Your quilt, your rules. I just give suggestions on how I like to do mine and what works for me. Hey, is everybody still there? It's gotten super quiet in here. Now you could just take this over to the cutting mat and trim away some of this extra if you wanted. Or you could just leave it and manipulate it however you want. I just choose just to trim away the excess that I don't need. Because it's just going to cause me more aggravation. No worries, Laura Lynn. It's just everybody in the chat got so quiet. I'm like, okay, where did everybody go? Like everybody was so chatty and then everybody got silent on me. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't lose y'all yet, did I? Occasionally I do have to try and take out that first little stitching I did whenever I did the quilting of the block. And that is just so I can be able to get this to lay down properly. I'm just trying folding over. Folding over and gluing down. With glue that would come right out in the wash. But it holds it down good enough for me to get this sewn. And keeps me having to use pins and poking out my finger. Alrighty, so here is the first row of the actual pineapple. Hey Joyce, how are you? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start preparing my next row down. Or actually, I might, yeah, I'm going to start preparing my next row down just because the rows up above it each have a solid black block beside of them. And I'm not really for sure what I want to do with those yet. With the solid black blocks as far as the quilting goes. So I'll figure that out as I get there. For now, I'm going to go ahead and finish up these yellow blocks. So what is everybody's weather temperature today? Let's start off with that one. What is everybody's temperature today? I don't even know what mine is. I just know it's cold. So I have a nice hefty stack here of these. I got a big stack of my batting already cut out. Oh, and for anybody that was seeing my scrunchie tutorial, here is my little sewing machine pincushion that my son got me. So I know a lot of people were commenting on it. And he got me that and a bunch of these like little adorable butterfly pins. Don't know if you can see it. There we go. Adorable little stick pins of butterflies. So, and the pin cushion actually comes with a measuring tape that has, looks like inches on one side and centimeters on the other side. And the measuring tape is like a little, is taking the place of like the hand wheel of the sewing machine, which I thought was super cute. So I'm actually about to be using my pins from there. Oh wow, Katie. Yeah, that's warm. Alrighty, I think I got myself situated over here somewhat decently. Hey Jean, how are you doing? Good morning. Yeah, Joyce, he actually bought it from Amazon. I found it on there because he always wants me, he never knows what to get me. So, my youngest. So, he always has me send him a list, make up a list on Amazon and send him a list, and then he would buy off of that list. This year, he bought me everything from my list. And so that, the pins, and my little hedgehog pin cushion were all from there, from Amazon. I just don't use the hedgehog as a pin cushion. He's just too darn cute. Hey Marie, how are you doing? And for anybody that is just coming in, I am doing Quilt As You Go blogs here to create or to start putting together the quilt that I've been working on in my past several streams. For this quilt here. And this is what I have done so far. I have the top level of the actual pineapple done up already. Right, Joyce? He's a mama's boy. What can I say? He loves his mama. Ugh, yuck. Yeah, we're supposed to be getting snow here. I haven't seen it start yet. A friend of mine is taking me shopping after I get done my live stream today. Jean, what loss is she talking about? I missed that. I missed something. I'm so sorry for your loss, Jean. I'm not for sure what loss it was because I completely missed it. But I am so sorry. Oh no, Jean, I'm so sorry. Oh, oh, believe me, I know exactly how that feels and everything. My little boy, my little Yorkie is about to be 15 in April, and I'm just hoping that he can actually even make it that far. I am so sorry. Sending tons and tons of big hugs. So all I'm doing here, guys, is trying. Sorry, I started doing this and didn't even explain to you what it was I was doing. Aw, poor Jean. So all I'm doing is layering all three pieces together, and then I am pinning each like triangular section down so that way there nothing shifts on me. And then I'm trying going right along the seams here. If I swerve off of it a little, I'm not that concerned over it. Hey Fallon, how are you doing, love? Yes, definitely trying to keep that mind occupied with stitching, Jean. Just know our hearts and our prayers are coming out to you, hon. I am so sorry. There's so many times right now where my Yorkie seems like if he isn't going to make it to the morning, and I wake up not like terrified to even get out of the bed because don't know if he's still going to be with us or not. So I completely understand and know exactly where you're coming from. So what I'm doing is I'm just sandwiching all three of my layers of for each block together. I'm pinning them, a pin in each direction, so that way there it holds everything nice and tight and still for me. And then I'm just stitching right down the seam. Hey, Jersey girl. How you doing, love? I swear this walking foot is going to be the death of me with how it keeps getting my fabric stuck up underneath there. So did you win free drinks, Fallon? Did you? Well, if it makes it here to Michigan like it's supposed to today, I'll make sure to send it your way, dear. I'm not really wanting anything to do with snow this year. Don't give me White Christmas. I don't want you any other time either. So I believe on my next tutorial that is going to be dropping this coming Thursday, I believe, if I remember it correctly, it's going to be the snail trail. And I'm going to work really hard on getting this quilt here completely done up over the next week, so that way my next live stream can not be this quilt. Because I have a couple of requests, and I would like to get those taken care of. Or not taken care of, but get those done. And I just want to do something other than this quilt. I got so many other quotes. I got so many quotes I want to do. I just want to, I want to do something other than this one. It's not my fave. I love piecing. Once I get to the quilting, it's like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do it no more. It's like nothing against this quilt. I just I don't want to quilt. But I also don't charge enough to try and pay for a long arm either. I should start charging enough to pay for a long arm, so that way I can just send it out to be long armed. But people, the way I look at, people are paying me to make their quilts, so I do it complete from start to finish on my own. This sometimes takes me a little longer than what it would if I was on a long arm. Especially since I got a full-time job that refuses to let me go have fun during work hours. So what I'm doing is about halfway down on each piece is where I'm pinning at. So that way there I can make sure my pins are out of the way of the needle, including the pin heads. And then I'm just doing a stitch, doing an edge-like stitch. And I'm using yellow on the front and black on the back, so that way you really don't see the threads. You'll see the stitch design, but you won't really see the threads. And I'm just eyeballing the quarter way down. And I just lost Bobbin Chicken. Sean, I need your Bobbin Chicken skills over here. So I just lost. Hey, Day, how are you? Hey, Nancy. And I have like 3 of these cases here. I got one that is for my whites, my blacks, and my neutral color threads, like my earth tones. I have, and that is for my cotton threads. I have one that I have for my embroidery threads, and then one that is for my wild and crazy colors. So here shortly, I'm going to definitely need to restock it, because I only got like 2 white ones in there right now, and this is my last black one. So I'm definitely going to have to restock or not restock, but respool my bobbins later. But I knew I had enough for my live stream, so I wasn't that worried over it. And I always like to make sure that I start off with pulling my bobbin thread through for the tails. Let's see here. Everybody, please make sure you give that thumbs up and hit the bell so you'll get notifications of when I go live. Because all of that helps me out. And anybody that is not subscribed, if you subscribe, and if we get to 300 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway. I am currently 5 subscribers away from 300. So if we hit that 300 before the end of the live stream, I'll do a giveaway. If not, then it'll probably be next Saturday. Yeah, you tell them, Laura Lynn. Get on going, girl. Woohoo! Come on, people. You know you wanna. Let me give stuff away. I like giving away stuff. And if anybody's curious, the pens that I'm using are the magic pens. And I love them because, for one, if I decide to iron with them in the fabric, I don't have to worry about them melting the head or sticking to my iron or anything like that. They're safe to use under the iron. I don't really do it, but they are safe to do from the advertisement and from what I've heard. I'm just such in a habit of always taking my pens out that I don't. Yeah, my ultimate goal right now this year is to get to 500 subscribers by my birthday, which is April 10th. That is my ultimate goal right now. And when I get to that goal, I'm giving away a quilt kit, fabric and all. Never even opened it. I ordered it from Missouri Star like 3 years ago, beginning of the pandemic range. Paid monthly and everything to have it shipped to me, and I just never done it. I was going to, I had every intention to, and now I've just lost interest in it. So I'm going to give it away when I hit 500 subscribers. Thank you, Lisa. I'm so happy that you did. I seen that I got several subscribers last night from her live stream, and I appreciate everybody that subscribes to my channel. And anybody that ever has any questions, always, always, always feel free to ask me anything. I never have problems answering questions. If it's something I don't have an answer for, I will find an answer for it if I can. If you ever want a tutorial from me of something, a specific type of thing to be taught to you and everything, let me know. I will do my research to figure it out and show you how I do it. Like someone has asked me about doing the snail trail block. So I'm going, or like I like to call it, the cat tail block. So what I would like to do is, so I'm going to do that on a recorded stream, because then someone else has also asked me to do a cafe facet midnight, can't remember it offhand now. It's midnight something. I had the book over here out to the side. But I'm going to be doing that on a live stream just as soon as I get this quilt done. Because I've made myself a promise. I'm not working on anything else, on any other quilt until I get this one completed, because this one has been my longest going one, and it's my one, well, not longest going one, but it's the one I'm getting paid to do. So I want to get this off my plate and get it to its rightful home. So until I get that done, no FPP, no nothing for me. No play. So does anybody have any birthdays this month? Ooh, Jen, I definitely guarantee you can get that, girl. And anybody that is not subscribed to Jean Captain Stitch's channel, please go check her out. Let me check my bot to see if I have Jean in there, because I may have Jean in there. Let's see. I do. So I have Nightbot running, guys. So if you let me drop the link for Jean. There you go. So everybody help Jean out. Get that lady to 1,000 subscribers if you're not already subscribed. Ooh, guess who, Nancy? Today's your birthday? Yay! 21, right? Or is it 25? Happy birthday, Nancy. Happy birthday, Nancy. It's your birthday. Go, girl. It's your birthday. Go, girl. You're welcome, Jean. Yeah, I got everybody that I follow. I have their thing programmed into my Nightbot. So there's like 25 people I subscribe to that are in my Nightbot. So almost, I think pretty much everybody I have listed in there is exclamation point and then their first name, with a few exceptions. So if you want to know if yours is in there, I thought you would like that, Nancy. See, I always tell everybody when it's my birthday, it's the anniversary of my 25th birthday. So that way I'm not giving up my true age. Or at least not in my mind. I know I technically am, but in my mind it makes me feel good. Especially since I'd much rather say anniversary of it than the actual birthday. Because the actual birthday means I'm older. Anybody else got birthdays coming up this month? Or already took place this month? Do we have any more January babies in here? Hey, Glenda, girl, you are not late. There is no late. Even if you missed the live stream, you're still not late as long as you come back and watch the replay. Hey, Cora, how are you doing? I'm glad you made it. I am just sitting here working on doing my Quilt As You Go blocks. So I have a bunch of blocks of these here already made up. For anyone that missed it, I'm working on doing my... Aw, Dave, that's awesome. Oh, he's getting close to leaving his 30s. So, anyone that missed it, this is one of the quilt blocks I'm doing. So, this is the quilt I'm making right here. I designed it on my EQ8. And I'm working on getting all these blocks here quilted, which are all of these. So what I'm doing is I'm taking, and these are 7 by 7. So I'm taking a 7 1/4 by 7 1/4 block or backing, which is just a multi-tone black and gray backing. Got it from Joann Fabrics, just 108 wide. And then I got my batting pieces that are 6 1/2 by 6 1/2. And then I have my 7 by 7 blocks. So that way there, whenever I try and do these, the batting is smaller than the rest of it because that way there it keeps on having so much bulk in my seams. And I'm just going through and making sure everything's all lined up nicely. And then I'm pinning. Oh yeah, sorry. It just I had to do that and everything, Cora, in order to help keep down on any trolls that like to come in and be nasty. So it helps deter from some of that. Not all of it, but it helps from deterring from some of it. So what I did now is I just pinned down each one of my little sections, and that kind of keeps it so that way there my fabric stays nice and where I put them. Fingers crossed, hopefully. If the pins do what they're supposed to do. About the only time I pin in this process. First time it's either clip or just sew and hope. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going down each, right along the seam of each one, a stitching. I'm not going exactly corner to corner because I want that extra fabric to work with whenever I go to connect my blocks together. So I'm starting and ending about 1/4 of an inch from the edge of each corner. That way there, it gives me a little wiggle room to work with whenever I'm putting them together. I don't know why, but my walking foot is being a little brat right now. Trying to be a pain in my tuchus. So, and I will be ending the live stream today at 11, which is in about another 6 more minutes. Let's see here. Where are we at? Yep, does not look like we are making it to 300 today. Not unless we do that within the next, like, couple of minutes. Okay, so, IRL lady, let me go ahead and show you real quick. Or Linda. So what I'm doing is which is the reason why I made mine a little larger for the backing. What I'm doing is I'm sewing these together. I'm pulling this back on one of them. I'm making sure that my yellow blocks are lined up properly. I'm sewing down that, like starting a 1/4 inch in from the edge, back tacking, sewing down, stopping a 1/4 inch before the end, and back tacking. And I'm sewing down all these layers right here while leaving this one here turned back. So that way there, whenever I open it up, I'll have this right here. And then I trim out all the edge dots. And then I use this one here just to fold over a little bit to hide my raw edges. And then fold it over to cover up the seams. I showed how I do it at the beginning when I was working on this one here. But I'm just taking the fabric of one side, folding it over to hide the raw edges and make it enough towards that way there. It's like going right along the edge of the seams here. I'll go ahead and do up one real quick, just so that way that I can show you guys. So I know me sitting here explaining it and all is probably not the best without actually doing it. Because if anyone is like me, they learn better from seeing instead of everything else. So what I did is I'm lining up my corners of the yellow blocks. The yellow blocks is the ones I want to line up because I want that all to be perfect. Jean, thank you so much. I'm so happy you like the angles and everything. I'm trying to get my angles figured out, so with using only 2 cameras to make sure everything looks good and you guys can see everything I'm doing and still see my pretty face. So I got my yellow blocks here lined up corner to corner. Everything is nice and straight from what I can tell down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this underneath here. I'm going to come up start about 1/4 of an inch. Back tack. And I'm going to stop about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. So whenever I'm making my stitch, I'm sewing down everything of all of it and everything, with the exception of this one piece on the top. I'm leaving that one open. Jean, here, let me drop my email in here, and that way there you can hit me up anytime you want, lady. I would love to do something with you. Oops. 1 second. Wrong one. I think it's that one. Yes, it's that one. Okay. So there's my email address. Jean, send me an email and we can work something out. That'd be awesome. Thanks, Mona. Thank you, Sean. So as you see here, I got my stitching all down. And when I open it up, everything's nice and pretty now. Completely seamless up here. So what I'll do is I'll trim away any excess. Like I'm gonna leave this one here alone because I need this for doing the cover over. Right, Mona? So what I need to do now is trim away any excess over here that I don't need, but still leave myself enough of a seam so that way there's enough room so my seam won't come undone. So my seam is pretty much right up. Let's see. Oh, wrong side. Hee hee. Don't cut your wrong side, because otherwise you will mess yourself up. So right here, you can see my seam going right down along here, in the bedding. So I'm going to cut roughly 1/8 to 1/4 inch away from there. Try to leave as much of that bulk in there as you can without it being too much bulk to go underneath your seam. Because you got to remember, you got to be able to make everything look nice and pretty and intentional. Yeah, Jersey, there are a lot of different ways to do Quilt As You Go. This is just the way I chose to do for this quilt. There are some that you can do with sashing, which work great as well because I've done them. One of my son's quilts I actually did as a Quilt As You Go using sashing, where I put the fronts together of the seam like this right here, the exact same way, but instead I try and made like a sashing strip to go over the back, so that way that you can actually see the sashing on the back. And I did it so that way there's a darker brown for his, to where it would look intentional. All right, Sean, have a good day. Be careful anywhere you go. So what I do now is I use a glue stick. I just put some glue down. You can be generous. You can be stingy, whatever you want. It's your quilt or it's your project. And I try and just fold a little bit over, and then I fold over enough to make sure that I am covering, like this stitch line right here. I just want to make sure I cover that stitch line. And be careful, or not be careful, but be prepared. If you use the glue stick method, your fingers will come out icky afterwards, but it's fine. I don't mind. I'm a mama, so I don't mind sometimes. Depending upon what the is. It's not the fact I don't mind it, it's the fact that I'm just so used to it. Because I got 2 boys, and they were always They were always getting into something. So, that way there, whenever I got this covered over now, then you can't see that stitch line, but it's like just beyond that fold that I just created over here. It's just beyond that fold. So what I'm going to do now is carefully turn this over, and I'm going to sew right down along that seam. And the goal is to make this as seamless as possible. Oh, come on. And sometimes it gets a little stubborn. Nope, I use just my normal needle jersey. I don't do anything special. I've not had any problems with it getting all gunked up. If it happens to get gunked up, then I'll just change the needle. But I use that glue stick for doing so many of my little craft projects that I sell. I've never had a problem with it. So now you can see I did my little quilting stitch right there. And when you turn it over, I caught right along the edge here. And it's nice and secure. Nothing's coming loose. And you don't really see it too much. So get it over here into the light better for y'all. I got the wrong screen up over here. There we go. Let's see, you guys can, as soon as I get this in the right camera here. See? Nice and pretty, and you really don't see that seam. You can just barely faintly see it because y'all know where I put it. And on the front, my little stitching is right along the seam where I connected the 2 sides. And then I'm just going to do all my blocks just like this all the way through the whole quilt. I'm not for sure how I'm going to quilt the solid black ones yet. What I've been thinking about doing is putting all of the actual center of the pineapple all together. Thank you, Linda. I'm glad you like it. So what I'm thinking about doing is putting all of the center of the actual pineapple, the leaves and everything all together. And then do the others in rows. And so that way there, when I put those rows on, then I can try and do like an echo quilting. And that's what I'm leaning towards so far, because I really want to try out the echo quilting. I've not really done echo quilting before. But I figure once I get the actual, from like the whole width of the pineapple right here done up, then I think that would make everything a whole lot easier. Essentially just planning this out as I go. And as I get further along, I'll post pictures up on my community tab as well as my Facebook page. anybody wants to be a part of my Facebook or get my regular updates on my Facebook, then you can feel free to do so by, let's see here. We have my link for Facebook is right there. Let's see. Nancy says, no, you could take an alcohol pad and wipe the needle off instead of changing needle. That is a good idea, Nancy. I'll have to try that. I've not ever had a problem with it before, but I'll definitely give that a try because that would be interesting if I can make them last longer. For the most part, I really don't change my needle until it breaks or bends. I know I'm very bad. Or unless I'm having a issue with it where I can tell like there's a burr or something going on with the needle. Other than that, I don't change it. They cost too much. I'm keeping the needle in there as long as it can possibly survive. And I have been making some scrunchies. Look. Okay, so I got a fat quarter from a win from So Becca on her channel. I think it was during one, maybe possibly one of her VIP member Zooms of this fabric right here. And look how stinking cute these scrunchies are. I completely fell in love with them. So if anybody's interested, let me know. They are posted up on my Etsy store right now. But if you're interested, let me know. Just send me an email. And let's see if I can get it in the camera better. There we go. So isn't that adorable? Super cute. I love the fabric. It was just really pretty, beautiful pastel rainbow colors, and I just love it. I fell in love with it, and I had him, and I'm just like, I used it in I couldn't think of anything else to do because I'm like, I'm not really good with working with stripes, but yet it's gorgeous pastel colors. It's like pastel rainbow, and I love it. It's so pretty. But I'm like, it'll be good for my craft shows or if I put it up on my Etsy store. So it's already on my Etsy store. But if you'd like to have one, send me an email and we can work it out. So that way there it'll be cheaper than buying it off of my Etsy store. Because my Etsy store, I had to increase my prices on there for my physical items I had to sell because of the Etsy fees and the shipping costs and stuff like that. So, but I am going to go ahead and end the live here because I have a friend that is coming over to pick me up at 11:30 my time because he asked me what I wanted for Christmas and I told him some fabric from the fabric store. So he is picking me up and taking me to a fabric store I don't normally get to go to because they're always closed by the time I get off work. And he's taking me fabric shopping. I'm going to go and buy a bunch, go and pick out some. Thank you, Glenda. I'm going to pick up, my goal is to pick out some fabrics that would be really super cute for babies and make some baby bibs like I did on Sean's live stream I did with him once before. So I'm going to make some baby bibs and post up on my store. So those will hopefully be getting posted sometime this weekend. Plus, I'm going to have some Valentine's Day stuff getting posted up on my Etsy store as well. And my Etsy link is, that should come up with my Etsy link. So I got Valentine's Day stuff coming up. I have St. Patty's Day stuff coming up. But I don't know why that didn't work. Yeah, not really for sure why that didn't work, but the link for it's also in the description below. But everybody have a wonderful day. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so you can get notified of every time I go live or post a recording. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, beautiful day. And big hugs to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.